It is an immense honor for me and my compatriots to give you all who have traveled from far and wide a warm welcome to Rwanda. I also welcome you all this morning to the opening ceremony of the 14th World Export Development Forum. This forum is organized by the International Trade Center and hosted by the government of Rwanda. It is the first time that the World Export Development Forum, WEDF, is being held in Africa. ITC, we are honored to be your first home on the continent. It is also the first time that the Women Vendors Exhibition and Forum is being held as part of WEDF. This is a forum that aims to stimulate the international competitiveness of women vendors. Your Excellency, in this room, we have more than 800 delegates that have traveled from 73 countries. I would like to recognize them by region. And I'd like to request that if I mention your region, please stand up and greet everybody. I will start with the delegates from Africa. Welcome. Delegates from Asia and the Pacific. Delegates from the Americas, all the Americas. From Europe. I believe I've covered all the continents. And of course, the ones from Rwanda. Ladies and gentlemen, the keen interest of all these delegates in this room is based on the acknowledgement that the growth of SMEs is crucial in driving economic productivity, jobs, and boosting international trade. Indeed, this year's theme is SMEs creating jobs through trade. I would like to recognize at this point the sponsors that have generously supported this forum. I'd like to start with the platinum category, and that is the One UN Rwanda. The Confederation of Indian Industries, Overseas Infrastructure Alliance of India. We also have gold sponsorship from Rwanda and Trademark East Africa. I would also like to appreciate our media partners that have also supported this forum, and in particular, allafrica.com, Jeune Afrique, and the Africa Report. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me at this point to invite our first speaker, Mr. Francis Gatare, the Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Development Board and member of the Cabinet of Rwanda, to give his welcome address. Thank you.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Honorable Ministers, Ambassadors, Honorable Trade Commissioner, the African Union Commission, Honorable Secretary General of the East African Community, Executive Director, the International Trade Center, Resident Coordinator of the One UN Rwanda, distinguished business delegates, women vendors, and exhibitors, I welcome you all to the 14th World Export Development Forum and Women Vendors Exhibition and Forum. At the 50th anniversary of the International Trade Center, ITC, and its promotion of global trade, it's fitting to have this event in Africa for the first time, and Rwanda as your host country. Allow me, Your Excellency, at the outset, to recognize the personal role of my colleague and predecessor at the Rwanda Development Board, Ambassador Valentine Rugwabiza, whose clear articulation of Rwanda's vision contributed to this partnership with the ITC and to Rwanda hosting this event here today. Yet, this shouldn't be surprising, really. After all, Rwanda shares the same vision as ITC, that a vibrant private sector is the only way trade-led growth and development can be achieved. A vision that there should be a commitment to create employment opportunities, particularly for the youth, and to spur entrepreneurship among its citizens. A vision of inclusive economic growth and empowerment of women. It's therefore appropriate that this year's theme is small, medium enterprises creating jobs through trade. For the first time, the World Export Development Forum has also been combined with the Women Vendors Exhibition and Forum. Your Excellencies, Rwanda has a proven track record of economic, social, and political inclusion of women, and we acknowledge their immense contribution to the transformation of this country and championing greater regional market integration and trade. This forum has attracted an impressive array of female entrepreneurs, exhibitors, and leaders that are already feeling at home among their Rwandan peers. In fact, yesterday we launched together a special initiative to promote women entrepreneurs and SMEs in public procurement. After all, more than 90% of business operators in Africa, and indeed in Rwanda, are SMEs, and many of them female-owned. Rwanda understands the immense potential and the contribution of the SMEs to the economy, and this continues to be the cornerstone of our work at the Rwanda Development Board and the driver of government's reforms to ease the cost of doing business. In a recent Global Competitiveness Index report, Rwanda has maintained its lead position in the top 3 in Africa, a position also held in the World Bank's Doing Business report consistently over 4 years. We have taken concrete steps towards easing international trade and championed greater regional market integration. The East African Community and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, have opened up Rwanda's businesses to a wider market and created immense opportunities for trade. The Northern Corridor Partnership between Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya is fast improving investments in infrastructure, and non-tariff barriers have significantly reduced. Yet, more needs to be done. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the World Export Development Forum and the Women Vendors and Exhibition Forum have come to Africa at the right time, when the continent needs a breakthrough to increase higher global share of trade beyond the current 3.3%, and intra-Africa trade beyond the current 11.5%. With the baseline this low, it means immense opportunities for growth. The Rwanda Development Board is happy to partner with the ITC in hosting this forum for learning and networking among entrepreneurs and their facilitators. I trust that business deals will be made and innovative ideas exchanged to further grow trade and development. I also hope that you enjoy the Rwandan hospitality and stay longer and return soon. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Gatare. I now invite Mr. Lamin Manneh, the resident coordinator and the UN Development Program resident representative in Rwanda, to also deliver his welcome remarks.
In my capacity as the one UN resident coordinator here in Rwanda, I would at this point like to reinforce the point already made, and that will be made, that ICC has indeed made a wise choice in selecting Rwanda as the host for the first WEDF in the Africa continent. Certainly, under the competent leadership of President Kagame, Rwanda has made its mark. And I think when the name came up, nobody opposed it. I also believe that the theme of this forum is very much consistent with the fundamental tenets of Rwanda's development, poverty reduction, and transformation agenda, which are expressed through the country's Vision 2020 and the EDPRS2. These have already been mentioned by the Honorable Gatare. Certainly, I wouldn't want to list all the achievements of this country because there will be no time for that. But I have been, like many people, attracted to the recent ranking of Rwanda in the World Bank's 2014 Doing Business report. Here, the latest ranking of Rwanda indicates that it has moved from 54th position in the 2013 report to 32nd in 2014 out of 189 countries. This indicates a jump of 22 positions within only 1 year. This is no mean feat, and this achievement should be celebrated. Rwanda, as you all know, is also a global leader in the empowerment of women and gender equity. And after making tremendous progress in many areas of the empowerment of women, it is trying to tackle the essential objective of empowerment of women. It is also a leader in the promotion of ICT in development. ICT certainly will underpin any industrialization and export promotion strategy. The World Export Development Forum is indeed a global patent initiative, and its theme, creating jobs through trade, makes it particularly pertinent for most African countries, and I dare say most developing countries that are represented here. Again, this theme resonates very well with Rwanda's transformational strategy, which, among other things, aims at creating 200,000 jobs. That objective cannot be attained without broadening and deepening the SMEs and enhancing their participation in the export markets. The UN system in Rwanda is committed to scaling up its support to Rwanda's accelerated development, poverty reduction, and transformational agenda within the framework of a strengthened Delivering as One. I think you all know that Rwanda, again, is a lead in this noble experiment, the Delivering as One. Today, we are in the lead in pushing the frontiers of implementing all the tenets of the Delivering as One. And this, in large measure, is due to the direct involvement, participation, leadership, and encouragement of the government of Rwanda under the leadership of President Kagame. We are also immensely grateful to that, Your Excellency. So as Arancha would indicate, we would be stepping up our support to the areas that would be discussed during this forum, working closely with the other specialized agencies like UNCTAD, UNIDO, ILO, UNEP, the World Trade Organization, and all our programs would be underpinned by the green economy approach to development. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of the UNDP Administrator, Mrs. Helen Clark, and on behalf of the One UN family here in Rwanda, let me thank ITC and its Executive Director for bringing the World Export Development Forum to Rwanda. I have no doubt that these discussions during the 2 upcoming days would be fruitful and will lead to concrete actions and plans. In conclusion, please join me in acknowledging the consistent and strong leadership of the President, which is now a model for Africa. I sincerely hope that this will also be an inspiration for the follow-up actions on the recommendations that will emerge from this forum. Let me end by recalling what the President said during the recent AFD annual meetings. He said that certainly there is no shortage of strategies in Africa. What is needed is the will, the commitment, and the capacity to implement these strategies. So I hope that this spirit will guide us in ensuring that the recommendations that will be retained here and the action plans would be effectively implemented. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Murakoze cyane.
His Excellency, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Mr. Paul Kagame. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, all protocol observed. This is my first WEDF since taking the helm at ITC 1 year ago. It is also the first time that the ITC has taken our flagship event to Africa. And for this, I want to extend a special gratitude to the government of Rwanda and in particular to the Rwandan Development Board for partnering with the ITC to deliver this event. Thank you. I also want to extend a big thank you to all of you coming from close by, all of you coming from far away. It is a pleasure to have you with us. It's your diversity, it's our diversity that makes our richness. Next week in New York, the world leaders will gather to discuss the post-2015 Global Development Agenda. And eradicating poverty, extreme poverty, in a sustainable manner by 2030 will be at the center of the discussions. Africa is hugely important in this global development, in this global debate. It is the continent with both the most poverty, but it is also the continent with the greatest promise. The enormous progress in reducing extreme poverty since the turn of this century must be celebrated. But multidimensional poverty remains, and it's now our collective task to focus on this, our unfinished business. Africa's potential is infinite. Sub-Saharan Africa is the world's second fastest growing continent in economic terms. Its demographics are promising. Technology and innovation are on the rise. Africa has become the second most attractive investment destination in the world. Africa's rapid urbanization, expanding middle class, and increasing household expenditures are creating millions of consumers. And I expect the discussions over the next 2 days to provide us with insights and pathways to turn this promise into a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here because we believe in trade's ability to transform lives and societies. While business in Africa until recently focused on the extractive sector, today the biggest opportunities lie in greater value addition in Africa, building on its assets, in the agri-food sector, in the manufacturing, and please let's not forget in the services sector. Incredibly important for many smaller economies, for many landlocked countries. Tourism education, health, ICT, environmental services, infrastructure services, and the list goes on. This tangible promise is why WEDF 2014 is taking place in Africa and in Rwanda. Africa is already the global marketplace of the future. Now, our task is to turn this local value addition into more jobs, sustainable growth, and a more inclusive development. It's about trading those products and those services in international markets, starting with regional markets. Central to this is partnerships. Partnerships between policymakers and business, between international development agencies and local governments, between global private sector actors and African SMEs. In Rwanda, as you have heard, one of our most critical partnerships is with the One UN, where the United Nations agencies are working together to deliver a coherent program of support in the area of trade and development. And for that, I want to thank the resident coordinator who has preceded me in this podium. By 2030, we need to generate an additional 500 million jobs to keep up with the growth in the world's working age population. 500 million. It's a sobering figure. But more and better jobs will mean the difference between a demographic dividend and a social time bomb. The lion's share of these jobs will be generated by small and medium enterprises, since they today account for most jobs and generate the majority of new ones. This is why SMEs are at the heart of the ITC's work, and this is why SMEs are at the heart of the World Export Development Forum. Seizing the opportunities created by rapid growth requires market-led training and skills. Getting SMEs to internationalize is important because the more that African SMEs can integrate into regional and global value chains, the better the chances that they will be able to generate higher quality jobs and reduce the informal sector. In ITC, we work with policymakers and SMEs to diversify into new products and services. We build capacities to add value, to brand. We help buyers and sellers connect, as we saw yesterday. We support regional economic integration efforts. We work with multinationals to build curriculum and real-life shop floor trainings to benefit young companies and aspiring entrepreneurs. In short, we help build SME international competitiveness. It is in this spirit that I'm pleased to announce the launch of the ITC's online SME Trade Academy, which will be accessible as of today from our website. It's an e-learning platform which we have put together with all our expertise to help the young entrepreneurs tap into the trade opportunities that global, regional, bilateral trade agreements offer. Over the next 2 days, we will be talking trade and doing trade. Leading thinkers and practitioners will share their vision for how SMEs can live up to their promises as vectors for growth, job creation, and development. But thinking and sharing along are not enough to leapfrog SMEs into a position where they can reach their full potential. We, you, will need to use this time here in Kigali to discover new business opportunities and conclude new deals. It is about doing business. Both formally and informally, we will be connecting buyers with sellers and helping to move ideas to implementation. At the heart of these B2B meetings here, we will have some 400 women-owned companies from across the globe. These companies are keen to expand their trade, not only in selling, but also in building networks, spurring innovation, building their brand, and finding solutions to increase their reach. Women entrepreneurship is key to women empowerment. And women economic empowerment means development, since we know that women entrepreneurs reinvest 90% of their revenues in nutrition, in health, in education for their families, compared to 40% in the case of men. And just in case there is any doubt, it's not the ITC executive director saying that, it's World Bank Research, a reputable institution, who's saying that. So it's pretty clear, better prospects for women-owned SMEs will mean better prospects for future generations. This is why we in ITC care about women economic empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here because we want to connect more SMEs to international markets. For a woman who trades rice informally between Rwanda and Burundi, simpler border procedures and a bit of help learning how to use these border procedures can mean increased income and lower risks. And when firms can break into world markets for value-added goods and services, it can transform more than an individual's livelihood. So this is why we hope that in order to tackle this, our unfinished business, governments in the room going to New York to the General Assembly will champion economic growth, trade, small and medium enterprises, women economic empowerment as vital components of the post-2015 development agenda. I wish us all productive and fruitful deliberations, and I'm pleased to announce that we are ready for business, that Rwanda is ready for business, that Africa is ready for business, that WEDF is ready for business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. González. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to invite our guest of honor, who is a true champion and believer in the potential of SMEs. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, to deliver his keynote address and officially open the conference. You're welcome, sir.
You forgot to say a believer in women, too. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, among us, Excellency, the First Lady of the Ethiopia Federal Democratic Republic, and among us, Executive Director, ITC, dear distinguished delegates from across the world, and leaders of our high institutions. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to Rwanda for this World Export Development Forum, and very happy to join you. I would like to thank the International Trade Center for your partnership with the Rwanda Development Board in organizing this event. This gathering is about one of the hardest challenges in the international development agenda. That is how to raise global development by bringing the benefits of trade to least developed countries, particularly landlocked like Rwanda, and small island states where most businesses are SMEs. I prefer to leave the detailed discussion of trade facilitation mechanism to you, the experts who will be handling this. Instead, I would like to open this meeting with a few words about the mindset required to transform an economy. For those of us living in the ITC's focus countries, the first obstacle to overcome is the belief that we cannot do it. If we overcome that, the rest is history. Our path to prosperity may be harder and slower than it was for others, but there is no country that is so isolated and disadvantaged that it cannot find some competitive edge in the global economy. So the first piece of the necessary mindset is to believe in ourselves. However, to find the right trade niche requires not only hard work, but also resilience in the face of setbacks and disappointments. There will be. If the path were easy or obvious, it would have been discovered already. Therefore, the second mindset trait is to never give up. Export development is really about embracing competition. How do we ensure that we are prepared to put ourselves out there globally and swim with the best? How do we equip local entrepreneurs and businesses to take advantage of the many opportunities to get better and stronger? To overcome geographical and other disadvantages, we must benchmark ourselves against the best in the world, not just against similar economies. For example, if you are winning all your tennis matches, you are probably not improving your game very much. You may think you are winning, even though in a larger sense, you are really losing. If these steps that take you forward every time you compete are not realized. The same principle applies as we seek to develop the productive capacities of our citizens and our economies as a whole. So the third mindset element is to see competition as an opportunity rather than a problem. Our role as governments and facilitators is to ask what can be done to help our business people and workers to learn the lessons of competition faster so that the rewards can be shared without delay. The foundation of all our efforts is good governance, which for us means a relentless focus on delivering the results that citizens want. As recorded in many opinion surveys, the top priority for people in almost every country is jobs. Jobs. Building a competitive modern economy requires smart investments in human capital and productive knowledge. After all, real wealth is in the head, not in the ground. This ranges from providing high-quality skills, training, and broadband connectivity to nurturing a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. We are much stronger together, so in East Africa, we are working to build regional trade by integrating our markets. We have removed non-tariff trade barriers as well as restrictions to travel and work. Through the Northern Corridor integration projects, we are also taking a regional approach to critical infrastructure and fast-tracking those very steps we need to take. But in order for such efforts to transform societies, we need to start with a conversation about the attitudes required to find solutions and get things done. There is enough opportunity in this world for us all generally, and there is enough opportunity in East Africa and in Africa. I welcome you again to Rwanda and wish you a happy stay and fruitful deliberations. I thank you.